with the princess of the universe. Does anybody remember that show? Highlander, not the movie, the series. My brother would make me watch it. He loved those kind of shows. Chuck Norris, Highlander. I am Duncan MacLeod of the Clan of MacLeod. And he would cut people's heads off, and that's how he got their power. Highlander. What a high version of a story. One episode, they had a little kid and they didn't realize he wasn't a real kid. He was like an 800-year-old kid and he's killing everybody and he's using his innocence. But anyway, I used to watch some of that shit when I was younger, and here we are now. Episode number 13. Welcome everybody to the Daddy Comes First podcast. Welcome. Welcome to all the MILFs out there. Welcome to all the single dads. Welcome to everybody who is able to make it out here. To show your support. We're growing by leaps and bounds. Every week we get a couple new listeners, which is honestly my favorite thing. Alright? We can't manage what we can't measure. Impressions, upward trend. Listens, upward trend. Now what I want to know is what kinds of people are listening. Apparently, it's mostly Spotify. Also, actually almost split right down the line between female and male. Some people are non-specified. 0% non-binary. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Why do my non-bis, as I call them when we're having drinks together, why do my non-bis feel that they do not want to listen? I think my content is good for everybody. Anyway, listen. We have a couple of new countries that are now popped on the radar. We have France, we have Denmark, we have Italy, we have Australia. This is exciting. And you know what? It's just because the value of what I'm trying to give people here. What is Daddy Comes First? Life lessons. It's news. It's how to carry yourself. It's wisdom. It is bullshit. And it makes you giggle. Like the dummy that you are. Because if you listen to this, you have an excellent sense of humor. Don't listen to your wife or your husband, whoever says you don't. It's 100% true. There's a truck going by, so if you can hear that old diesel engine rattling, they pick up trash the same way in Dublin as they did 400 years ago, which is some guys either push around a big bucket or a big van that just has a big dome on the back and you just put shit in there. And sometimes you give them a little money, they'll throw away a mattress for you. What's that on the mattress? Blood stains? Another 50. No extra charge for the Siemens. But that's the story. Very excited. Heading down to Trinidad and Tobago, as my neighbors to the south would say. Venezuela is only 7 miles off the coast of Trinidad. You can see it on a clear day. Very excited to head home. Why? I have not been home in 26 months. For those of you out there who are excellent at math, you will realize that is almost over 2 years. It is over 2 years, not almost. So I have to go home, see everybody, see me more than my father. Me man, me dad. I have to go and see me man, me dad, like. Which will be very exciting. And you know, it's just that very nice, special treat. I'm going home by myself. I'm taking one of my little nephews with me. I don't know why I'm working so much. I haven't eaten anything all day. Maybe that's why. Taking my little nephew with me. He is doing the SEA exam, which is a horrible scourge that is put upon 10, 11, and 12-year-olds in Trinidad so that they can pass, so that if they pass and do well, they get accepted to a good school. Because there is a wide disparity of schools, secondary schools. So it's not really based on where you come from geographically, sexually, spiritually, mentally. It's more based on your background, if you know what I mean. Like, who's your mother? Who's your father? Are you a Christian? Are you from a family who's probably gonna donate some money at some point in time? All this stuff matters. There's a short list, a fifth of the kids are brought in kind of on those criteria. So you could be not great academically like me and still get in because your two brothers, your father, your uncle, your grandfather, your great grandfather all went to the school. This is a public, Catholic, all boys school. We were one of the best schools in the country, right? And I do not know how that's possible because the teachers never showed up. There was constant fights. It was basically like an open air prison. Shout out to my fellow Gazans out there. And I mean, I can only imagine what was going on in the other schools. Usually, if the school had both sexes going to it, it was not a good school. I think I've talked about this before, so I'm excited to go and take a soak in the salt. See, that is soaking. And when I say soaking, I do not mean the kind of soak that the kids are doing today. I don't know if you're listening to this. Apparently, the majority of people listening to this podcast are over the age of 28. So that means you probably don't know what the kids are talking about. It's called soaking. It's when you are together with a lady, boy and a girl, sorry, non-bias, or maybe I'm not sorry, I don't know, maybe y'all are involved in this too, and they're feeling guilty about premarital sexual relationships. So what do? It's called soaking, and this is 100% true. The male penis is inserted into the female, and they just stay there. They don't do anything. It's called soaking because if they do the pumps, if they do the pumps, then the law doesn't like that, especially in the Mormon community. So, but if they want to shake things up, pun intended, the young kids know where I'm going with this. There's a third person who's invited to the party, and they are called a shaker. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So what the shaker does is they'll shake the bed side to side, or while, by the way, penetration is taking place, but it's one penetration, it's not many penetrations. So while he's lying on top of the lady, and he's just soaking, or they soak, they will have somebody shaking. And what does the shake mean? The shake is somebody who jumps up and down on the bed to shake it, to move it. Now, I know when people say that the kids today aren't as bright as they used to be, it's not that. It's not that they're not bright. It's that they can't connect things very well, okay? They know lots of information, they know how to use things, but any dum-dum can see that that is sex. Obviously, the person shaking the bed, first of all, who's shaking the bed? So you and your girl trying to soak. You gotta ask one of your brethren, is it a female? Is it a male? Who's gonna jump on the bed? And what? They just shaking on the bed while you catching your jollies? I really love this younger generation, boy. I just grew up so bloody conservative. I'm just trying to think if I could have just pulled up and been like, hey girl, you wanna soak tonight? I look into sex, I for the Lord. I ain't looking into sex at all, but I could soak. So if you're looking to soak, figure out what it is, like find a bed, and let's see if we can find a brethren to shake. Let's see if we can find a shaker. Any of you girls want to shake? What about Maurice? Nah, but I don't trust Maurice. You go try it again on the action. What about Bethany? Yeah. Bethany, she could shake. Bethany, you could shake? What kind of shake? I don't like jumping up on the bed, huh? But I could shake. I could go on the side. I could shake the headboard. I mean, where is this happening? Where is it happening? Where is it happening? Because the big part of when I was growing up and trying to have relations was you have to find a location. You're trying to find a car, a ditch, anywhere that you can have some goddamn privacy. And sometimes they don't even have privacy. You just had to make do because, of course, your hormones are raging. I just know me personally, if I was in a soak and somebody started to shake the bed, I would probably do a couple of pumps to help me whatever. Because all you really do is slowing down till you get to the stage where, you know, nuclear fission takes place. The atom is exploded out your nuts. So, yeah, so you gotta find that third person, somebody who's real cool. I don't know if maybe you're going to the covers because it's your Mormon or your Jesus person or whatever, you're going to the covers for modesty. Maybe like you both have your tops on, and then you get a friend, and they just kind of jumping on the bed, and then say the little movement. And you're saying, Bethany, jump out of girl, jump out of there, look. If you're going to be in your tick, jump. You ain't looking for your big friends to help you shake. You know what I mean? I could shake, no. You're 120 pounds, I ain't looking for that. I'm looking for somebody to shake the bed. Right? I'm not looking for somebody to jiggle the bed. I ain't looking for a jiggler, I'm looking for a shaker. What about Bethany? Bethany's a thunder, ain't? Yeah, thunder ties. She take and shove some weight on her. As soon as she get up there, she could shake, jumping up and down, shaking down the place. She might get burned quick, but you know what I mean? I don't think it'll take that long. Well, that's the other thing. Are you ejaculating? You know what I mean? Are you trying to bust? Because that surely is, whatever the reason, that's sex in sex territory there. So I wonder if you just kind of like, you go and you come out, and then you shake however, you don't bust, and then you just say everybody say goodnight and you go to bed, and you just, before you go into bed, you're just trying to think of it again, and hopefully you get a nighttime explosion. Phew. What a wild thing. So we're not gonna have sex, but the penis is gonna be in the vagina, and a third person is gonna be in there shaking the whole thing. Well, I love these people. Yes, they could think of anything. They'll be the ones to solve. That's the thing. They solved that problem, and they solved the problem was you cannot do pumps, premarital pumps. And they solved that problem, and I am proud. I am very proud. When you're that age, you just, I guess you can look your parents in the eye and they're like, "Are you having sex?" No, dad, no, mother. When I was younger, in order to try and get my parents on my back, I went to a abstinence seminar. An abstinence seminar. And they gave out leaflets. So I just came home and I just put a leaflet down on the table. I didn't say anything, and I let that percolate. And then my mother's like, "Oh, what's this?" I said, "Oh, just something I'm thinking about." My partner, shout out to Fresh, went a little bit further, and he had an abstinence, like a Live Strong band. You young kids wouldn't know, but everybody who listens, this is old anyway. Remember Live Strong bands? And then everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Pun intended. And he had one it was purple or something, and it said abstinence on it. Whole time, he was absolutely rinsing out his girlfriend. He had a crazy one too, just like me. Real dark Terminator vibes. Yeah, that's what happened. So, when my first girlfriend pretended to be pregnant, my mother was shocked because I thought she was pregnant. I told my parents, wherever, I knocked my girlfriend up. I didn't say it like that, but they were in the car and they started screaming in the car, "Oh my God!" As if they got into a horrific accident. Which, it was a horrific accident because they hated her. And I did too. It just took me a while to realize. Sometimes it takes you a while to realize. Some people die and they don't realize. Joe Biden walking around, he's dead. Although that last State of the Union address was impressive. Let's stay on topic. So, she was crazy. And when I told my parents, they freaked out. And my mother was like, "I thought you were in an abstinence program." And that's the thing. I said I was. And then it stopped. You know what I mean? You're in abstinence until you're not. I have to update you every day. I'm still in absence. I'm still in absence. No. Same thing about getting drunk and alcoholics. Are you in the program? I am in the program. It don't mean I don't take a drink every now and again and break and I restart my sobriety, but it's still in the program. But abstinence is not like that, I guess. Abstinence is you're done. If you're done abstaining, that's it. You can't go back. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't undo that. It's like a circumcision. You can't undo a circumcision. You can't put any meat back on the pole. And that's okay. That's okay. You have a bit extra meat, you have no meat on anything, you have no hood, whatever. We're all just penises trying to get along. And that's what it is, you know what I mean? Penises are penises. And so soaking seems like a real nice thing. Like I wonder if I could, soak with your wife and just see where it goes, you know? See who has like the more restraint. But you know the wives will start to move and think they'll start to, you know, they start to move their waist. They will start to move their waist. And that's the story, you know? And that's like penises are penises. I have a penis, it's true. It's true. Rumor probably got that. I do have one. A lady asked me once, she said you have BDE, big dick energy. And I said, well, what this, you know what I mean, what size are we talking about? I don't have any kind of big, long, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to go up inside there and trouble your breakfast. You know what I mean? But if I move the curtains to the side, there's a bit of thickness there. But there's no, you know what I mean? I'm not going up inside there to check, you know, to check your heart arrhythmia, to make sure you're staying regular. I'm not doing that. And I don't think it matters as long as it's not very, very tiny. You know, which you had to do, what you had to do with that too. You know what I mean? I'm not very tall. I just make believe with whatever I make do. You're not playing, you're always comfortable. You don't worry about leg room and any of that kind of shit. But every concert I go to, I am fucked. Because you can't see anything. So you just have to listen. And that's why God gave you 2 eyes and 2 ears. Because when you can't see, you can hear. 1 nose. Although 2 nostrils. 1 heart. Doesn't matter. So that's the story, guys and girls. What have we learned? We've learned that the kids are soaking. I want to know what type of people are shakers. So if anybody's a shaker out there, any young cool cats and kittens listening to this, if you're a shaker, please tell me do your friends call you up? How does it work? And if you're a soaker, I want to know how it's going and does any busting happen? That's what I would like to know. And other than that, I would just like to wish you all a merry, happy week. I'll be in Trinidad for the next podcast with a very special guest. I can't announce it yet. My first guest ever. We'll be talking about very disturbing times and trying to make light and fun of just the general situation that we are in. It'll be explosive. And that's all I can tell you for now. Good luck, good night, good day, good morning. Daddy comes first. Over and out. Daddy comes first.